So just to start us off, I'll give a brief introduction about this thing we are calling mentorship, about the program and how we came to the point of conducting this nationwide survey on youth unemployment and skills development. So I'm going to share the screen. Once you can see what I'm sharing, you can let me know so that I can continue. And as I've written there in the chat section, feel free to tweet. The Twitter handle is there, and the hashtags that you can use to communicate broadly to your colleagues. So let me know once you can see the screen I'm sharing. After that, I'll continue. Any of you can let me know if you can see the screen that I'm sharing.
Yes, it is visible. You can see it.
Good. And I've also shared the link to the Zoom meeting on the chat section. Some of you have lost track of the link. So please, if you have the link, you can share. Like Gitau is asking me if he can get the link. That is Waruru Gitau. So any student from Taita Taveta University who has the link, which I've shared in the chat section, can share the link with Gitau on his WhatsApp number. So this is the 16th Youth Talent and Career Fair. We have been conducting Youth Talent and Career Fairs physically and virtually, but since Corona was detected in Kenya way back in March last year, we have been holding these forums monthly but virtually. So this is the 16th, and it is focusing on talent management and career development. This is a volunteer youth mentorship program. I also volunteer my services under Kenya's Presidential Digital Talent Program, which is within the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs. And this program is for young graduates in STEM. So if you are a young graduate in STEM and you are soon graduating, you should check for this program online and apply. It is an internship program, paid internship. So you are engaged in one of the government ministries, departments, and agencies. You have an internal mentor in the department or in the agency, and you're also connected to an external mentor who is a volunteer like myself. For example, this year I have 4 mentees who are graduates of STEM. And after 1 year, they graduate. So far, the government internship program under this digital talent program has dispensed more than 900 graduates. And nowadays, there are employers who write directly to this program to give them graduates who have been mentored because they are more employable. So if you are taking notes, that is also a good point to note that you should be thinking of joining such an internship program for young graduates so that you can improve your CV, you can learn on the job as you also get paid. It is one of the best stopgap measures we can have as you advance in your career. So this 16th forum is on education4.org. Education4.org is just one of the subsets of the fourth industrial revolution. We are talking of the fourth stage of the industrial revolution, and we are saying that the fourth industrial revolution is about connectivity. Internet connectivity appliances can communicate in a hyper-connected world with the internet as the aggregator so that we can have intelligent solutions. So when we are talking of artificial intelligence and machine learning, we are talking of ways in which appliances can be intelligent. Your fridge can be connected to your smartphone, and the supermarket you buy goods from on a monthly basis. And from that unstructured data, intelligence can be generated so that the period during which you do a major shopping, is well mastered within the algorithm, and what you buy usually is also well mastered, so you can get advice even from your mobile phone in the terms of in the form of an SMS if you forgot to buy something in a particular month. And if there's an anomaly, for example, you've lost your job, the same can also be detected. So we are living in that interesting time we call the emerging era of the fourth industrial revolution, which we also refer to as Industry 4.0. Some people would want to refer to it as 4.0, but the trending terminology is 4.0. So education 4.0 is also about education in the new era. And you see what COVID has done to disrupt the education sector, such that we are now accepting uh, online learning as a new normal. And graduates in this era must also be digitally literate, and beyond that, be digitally fluent in order to flow in a globalized marketplace where they have digital skills, digital competitiveness, and they can work across borders in a globalized talent pool. So that is what Education 4.0 is about. And today's topic is employability skills and career security. We are going to look into the nationwide views of Kenyan youth from a sample of youth surveyed across all the 47 Kenyan counties. And if you use the Slovin's equation to determine the sample size, according to the census of 2019, we had over 14 million youth in that age bracket of 18 to 35. So if you use that equation, you will find that for a random sample at 95% confidence level, you need to interview about 400 youth. And we got that number and even exceeded it, though we are still cleaning the data because some of the responses may be outliers, which we may have to remove from the sample to give a better estimate. But if you look at the estimates we are getting already, it is evident that what we have gathered so far from this youth survey is representative of the other scientifically sampled surveys that have also been conducted by other independent researchers and independent agencies. So as I proceed, those are the Twitter handles I've shared. And this mentorship program is called Impact Borderless Digital. It was founded way back in the year 2019. Why impact? Because we believe in impacting society with your skills and knowledge. Why borderless? Because we believe that you are being trained not for your county, your country, but for the global marketplace. And digital. Even before COVID, we have this foresight that the future is digital. We are talking of digital transformation. And the core values are diligence, excellence, and intergenerational responsibility. We are also conscious about environmental sustainability, hence that nice picture of a green environment. This is Hong Kong, and you can see despite being a city, there's environmental responsibility, ensuring that we conserve nature, we conserve the trees, and it remains green. Our motto at Impact Borderless Digital is borderless impact without imposition. During our youth talent and career fairs, we usually touch on all those 6 key areas, and you can see interview skills are there, career advice including scholarships, your borderless passport to the world, CV writing, letter writing, and email etiquette. And if you visit our website, that is Impact Borderless Digital website, you'll find recorded versions of these past forums, and you'll get detailed records on how to go about 22 interview questions, including the common question of tell us about yourself, how you should answer it, how your CV should look like, depending on where you are taking it. And these tips will improve your chances of getting employment and hence contribute towards addressing the growing youth unemployment. These are just some scenes from the past youth talent and career fairs we have held across the country. This was before COVID, and one here in Kisumu, this one in Homa Bay County, this one also in Kisumu County. And as part of this youth mentorship program, we also mentor youth. We accept guest articles from youth. So if you're a university student, a college student, and you want to air your opinion, some well-researched article that you want us to publish, you can contact us and we'll be able to publish the same under our guest article series. Also in scholarly research publications, there's a chance for mentorship in that area. This book, The Future of Africa in the Post-COVID-19 World, is the newest of the print, coming out the end of this month, that is tomorrow. But this is the digital copy that is already final. And this is a peer-reviewed publication that was authored by 14 authors from across the world. And it is 250 pages. It is touching on youth unemployment, touching on issues of geoeconomics and geopolitics, issues of food security, environmental responsibility, and natural resource management. And I'm happy to mention that some of the youth who have joined this forum today participated either as people who proofread the chapters and hence help us in the review, and young lecturers from across Kenya have also participated in authoring various chapters. And this is a good opportunity for youth to be mentored for skills development. Under our Impact Borderless digital series, if you visit our website, our YouTube channel, our Facebook, and our Twitter handle, you'll also find every Monday motivation, some well-researched with conviction, tips on what can empower you as youth. We also have midweek special writings and weekend reflections, and we have special reports that are based on sound science to advise policy and planning. And we are not left behind even now that we are fighting COVID. We have well-researched articles weekly that inform policy decisions on how to contain the pandemic and what we can do as Africa, as Kenya, and as Africa, because even if we cannot come up with a vaccine, we can still come up with ways of containing the pandemic and responding to it, especially in the education sector. How can we save the situation to save the future of learners? So why are we talking of career security? We are talking of career security because there's no longer job security. That is what the youth have to come to terms with. So you are a college student, you are soon graduating, or a young graduate, don't think of job security, think of career security. What is the difference? The difference is no longer are you going to have that assurance that you will have a permanent job, 8 to 5, Monday to Friday, a forward office, but your skills will make the difference for you so that you can handle many tasks in different places. And research has also established that the youth nowadays stay on a job on average only 3 years. So what will make you mobile across platforms from one institution or agency to another is how marketable your skills are. So that is where we are talking of career security. So you have to develop skills that will make you accepted across various platforms. We are also talking of gig economy, which is another terminology for freelancing. How can you develop yourself to be a consultant in a given area so that you can freelance, you can have various plans in different places, away from the traditional forward office, away from the traditional 8 to 5 working culture. That is the era we are living in, and COVID has made that message clearer and clearer. So you must have transferable skills. You must strive to upskill and reskill, hence lifelong skills development. And this research establishing from the World Economic Forum that 65% of primary schoolers today will be engaged in jobs that have not been defined yet, already means that our curriculum is outdated, and what will help our graduates in the future of work is how adaptive they are in terms of flexibility of skills and adaptive to new challenges in a challenging and dynamic world. So that is why it is important to talk of career security, not just job security. This is just a diagram showing you, we talked of Industry 4.0 or the fourth industrial revolution. This is where the world is now. And we have seen three past industrial revolutions. The first industrial revolution in the 18th century about invention of the steam-based engine. And then later on, second industrial revolution, if you are asked what it's about, for example, you're attending an interview, you're asked what was the second industrial revolution all about, it was about electricity and how electricity changed the game in terms of mass production, manufacturing. And then the third industrial revolution, this was the era of computer and internet-based knowledge. But now we are in the fourth industrial revolution, which is about Internet of Things. It is about hyper-connectedness of devices, and they can communicate. You have artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, all that making life even more interesting and more intelligent. We even have automated journalism nowadays, automated bank equity research reports, and through machine learning and artificial intelligence, nowadays we can write novels. There are novels that have been written by machines just using artificial intelligence and machine learning. So that is the exciting era we are in. So we are talking of big data, we are talking of Internet of Things, IoT, and cloud computing. So much about that in the introduction. This is what we have been talking of. Your mindset should be shifting from digital literacy to fluency, data literacy to data fluency, shift from local awareness to global awareness. You have raw talents, as we saw from this survey, but now you should advance beyond raw talents to refined talents. That is why you need mentorship. And from mere formal education to get papers to being in the business of lifelong skills development. So what are the top skills for the year 2025, looking ahead to the year 2025 and beyond? What are the key skills you must develop as youth to be more employable, to be more acceptable? What are they? And these are the findings from the 2020 Future of Jobs research by the World Economic Forum. The top 10 skills for the year to make you relevant the year 2025 and beyond. Problem-solving skills. So ask yourself, how much of these skills have you developed? So when the questionnaire was asking you about employability and how the youth are also responsible in a way for their unemployment, you should ask yourself, have you developed these skills? Self-management skills. So under self-management, active learning and learning strategies. Are you resilient? Can you manage stress? And are you flexible? We also have people skills. People skills. How do you get along with others? I'm hearing some echo. If someone is has not muted. Yeah, someone has not muted. So I'm saying people skills also important. Your social skills, how you get along with people, leadership, and then technology use and development. This is a key area. How have you learned coding, for example? We are talking of open source software such as Python. Are you enthusiastic enough to learn some basic coding skills and programming? These are the skills that will make you employable and help you to earn that level that we call career security. So as I conclude from this introduction, we also have this famous dichotomy between working smart and working hard. And from research, are some of the interesting differences. As youth, are you working smart or working hard? Working hard is a virtue, diligence, we appreciate it, but if you can work smart as you work hard, it is even better. So are you busy being productive or busy being busy? During COVID, you'll realize that you can be busy the whole day, but when you ask yourself what you have done, it is basically nothing, just jumping from one side to another. We call it doom scrolling. You are looking for uh, sensational news, news of doom, what is happening where, and that can take up the whole day. And you'll be very busy, so you will be busy being busy. Instead of being task oriented, be goal oriented. That is, have your notebook and the tasks you want to accomplish in a day. Check off what you have accomplished, carry forward what you have not accomplished, and that is being goal oriented, not just task oriented. It is not the number of tasks you have been able to do, but if the tasks are aligned to your goal. For example, personal and professional development. From doing more hours to doing more per minute. So value your hour, your minute. How are you using it? So it is not just how many hours you have done, but how you're being productive for every minute. Planning well before starting. It is better to take more time as you plan before starting. Instead of rushing to the end, then you start all over again. And then when you are coming up with innovations, for example, enactors, now I know a number of you who are part of enactors have realized that sponsors of ideas, innovative ideas, are looking for simple solutions. And these simple solutions are the byproduct of complex problem solving. So are you moving from complex to simple? Or still in love with moving from simple to complex? It is a pity that our education system has been glorifying knowledge which is obsessed with moving from simple to complex, complicating a matter. But what the world needs is moving from complex to simple. Can you simplify the complex and give us solutions that are impactful on society? Solutions that the society can be stakeholders of, the local person, the local stakeholder, the Wanjiku, the Atieno, the Mora. Can you give that kind of solution from your complex equations in engineering, mathematics, in calculus, in econometrics? That is what the world is looking for. So wisdom is moving from complex to simple. Knowledge is from simple to complex. And we are to move away from mere knowledge for knowledge's sake to problem being solution oriented. So I want to end it there for this introduction. SDGs that you must also be aware of. Don't graduate without knowing all the 17 SDGs and what they deal with. That is part of building your employability skills. So I want to move from here to the next stage, which is now presenting the results of the youth unemployment problem that you responded to, and skills development. I also want to share beginning from primary school level, because before this research, there's research that had been conducted before, way back in the year 2019. And this one was focusing on the standard 7 and standard 8 in the 844 system, which are the critical transition stages into secondary school. So we asked primary school heads the problems with STEM education in primary school, especially class 7 and class 8. And we also involved secondary school teachers, asking them, how can STEM education be improved? STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematical subjects. So we asked secondary school heads, asking them, what is the quality of the students you get entering secondary school? What are the weaknesses? And what do you recommend going forward? So we are going to present both as one, concluding with the youth survey, which mainly involved university and college students, because we are focusing on the age bracket 18 to 35. Young graduates were also included. So I want us to stop here as we go to the next presentation, which is more detailed and which is more relevant to your expectations. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen. And before I proceed to the next part, just a pause of a minute or so. If there's any question, any burning question from what I've presented, you can share the same, your experience, maybe the university where you are, maybe you are part of an ACTAS or any other uh, group of young students, student innovators. For example, economic students also have their ISEC. You can just share something briefly with us. You have this chance before we share the next presentation. Thank you. You are welcome. You can intervene in any order.
Hello,
Hello?
are you able to hear me?
We can hear you very well. Maybe your name and where you come from in terms of organization or college.
Okay, once again, I did introduce myself first. I'm computer designer, so I'm using Roger's email because I had challenges in registering my tab was uh, uh, continuing crashing. So apart from that, the current president here, University of Nairobi. Here is a startup, uh, a crossroad consulting and education. So what we do, we do what we call management consulting for, especially for startups. That's what we normally do. So currently I'm the president in the program. Nice to interact with you all.
Welcome. Now, Subo, can you tell us anything about Enactus data?
Good evening, Dr. Adero. I didn't get you well. What were you saying?
Anything about Enactus data? Some people maybe are joining from Taita, but they don't know about Enactus.
Oh, okay. So I am Nasubo Imelda, a fifth-year mining engineering student, and I'm the current Enactors Taita Taveta team president. So Enactors is our Enactors Club Taita Taveta University is part of Enactors organization that is a non-profit organization. And basically, their aim is to empower young people, the youth, in terms of leadership, also entrepreneurship, and innovation. So we create entrepreneurial action through innovation by coming up with solutions, simple solutions to complex problems. Yeah, and just trying to impact the community and to improve livelihoods in the community around us. Yeah, that is Enactors Taita Taveta University.
Good. How many are you now?
Currently, we are around 23.
Good. And
Yes.
if Beda is here with us, I don't know. Beda, we have been missing your input.
Yes, I'm here. I can get you.
Maybe you can now greet the audience because in the beginning we could not get you.
Yes, I'm Beda Ogola, part of this team running this great research. And we are glad the big audience is here, at least to get the information available. Yes.
Good, thank you. Beda has been the one organizing our fieldwork as a volunteer youth. And also he can be your peer mentor because he has conducted so many field assignments in Kenya. He is also a graduate of the University of Eldoret Master of Science in Statistics, and he'll be able to validate most of these presentations I'm conducting, because what I'm going to share now is what he coordinated in the field when I was away from Kenya, but he was the one coordinating the interview of head teachers in primary schools and secondary schools across Kenya to detect where the main problem is in terms of STEM education in Kenya and how the same can be addressed effectively through government action and involving other stakeholders, parents included. So let me share the next screen. I believe this one will be more interesting to you. So let me know once you can see something there on your screen. So once you can see what I'm sharing on the screen, you can let me know so that we can proceed.
Yes, it's visible.
The beginning, we have to begin way back from primary school. So this project on enhancing the quality and equity of access to STEM education in rural Kenya was conducted fieldwork was in the year 2019 between January and July, but the conception of the idea began way back in 2018 as part of a project management program in Germany, this university in Germany called Technische Universität bei Akademie Freiburg. If you translate into English, then it is Technical University Mining Academy at Freiburg. So this one was just a special project management course, which I was attending. And as a special project management course, you have to come up with something practical. It is not academic, it is practical. How can you impact society? Some of you may be able to notice some of the people here. These are students of Taita Taveta University, and you can see when you are talking of equity of access to STEM education in rural Kenya, Taita Taveta University is not, we can't say it is so much in an urban region. I can say it is in a rural region still. And in this engineering class, I think this was third year engineering class at Taita Taveta University, you can already see that there is no gender in terms of equity in gender. It is very easy to notice the young men, but you have to struggle to notice the young ladies here. So in STEM education, again, there's that gender disparity, but it has to begin from somewhere. And we are saying when we go to the root of the problem, it must be in primary school. So here we focused only on grades. We call it class standard 7 and 8 in Kenya, but the general term internationally is grade. We talk of grades. So look at rural Kenya, transition rate to secondary school has been as low as 30%. But we are talking of Vision 2030, and one of the pillars, foundations of transformation under Vision 2030 is STI, that is science, technology, and innovation. But what are we doing to achieve that objective of having a stock of experts in science and technology? We have to begin from primary school. So if you look at primary school, there's gender disparity in the critical transition grades. There are also cultural barriers that are going against gender neutral STEM socialization. What I mean by this is that in the rural areas, there's still this stereotype that STEM is for men, not for women. And these are some of the stereotypes that we must overcome. So this was the objective of the project, is still continuing. And the main question is, how can I help improve average STEM performance by 50% while ensuring gender equity to achieve at least 95% transition rates in rural Kenya by the year 2025, which is going to use a classroom level optimization model, teacher to pupil ratio at 1:35. Can we achieve that? And having each classroom at least 12 from each gender, from each sex, male and female. So that is part of the modeling, but before you develop a model, you need the data. So look at this. This was part of the questionnaire that some of you addressed. We have all these key areas of intelligence, and this is according to Professor Howard Gardner, who came up with this theory of multiple intelligences. So look at all these 9 areas. Our education system has mainly been emphasizing logical mathematical intelligence, but we are forgetting about musical intelligence, naturalistic intelligence, interpersonal intelligence. All these need to be developed, and I think CBC, in terms of a good idea, is trying to address these areas. Look at the types of innovation, all these 9 types of innovation, and we need all these multiple intelligences to develop those young talents so that they can address all these key areas of innovation. Most of us just know about product innovation, but we also have business model innovation, organizational innovation, incremental innovation. Talking of Industry 4.0 that I was telling you about, you see it is interconnected with so many issues in the world, including cybersecurity and climate change, and education, gender, and work is a key global development issue that is also connected to delivering on Education 4.0 or quality education. Coming to the competitive skills and outstanding skills that you need as a young graduate in order to be competitive, the ones in red and orange are the ones that the marketplace needs more. But you find there's routine focus, the green ones, in primary, secondary, and tertiary level. We mainly have this routine focus on the passing exams, a routine focus on languages, humanities, and business studies, reading and writing, but hardly do you get exposed to multilingual skills, to leadership, fundraising skills, developing your creativity and people skills. So that is why when you go into the marketplace, you get surprised. It is like an experience off the cliff edge. You get surprised because there's a very big gap. You need to be retrained and you need to be introduced to so many things. So how can we change our education system to be skills-based and to expose you more to the competitive skills that you need for the marketplace? That is what this graph is communicating. And you see education and skills development, even according to the World Economic Forum, has to be connected to digital fluency and STEM skills. STEM is getting a very big portion of the global attention. So when you are talking about the future of work, this is what we had said before, 65% of learners in primary school don't have their jobs well defined yet because the world is changing very fast. So there must be transferable skills, development of transferable skills. Also, this survey, which has been, I've cited it so many times because I conducted it way back in 2014 and 2015. And from a global online survey, conducting a weighted average analysis, key informants were saying that the basic education system in their countries, not only in Kenya, have not been giving due emphasis to these bigger balls that have more impact on innovation capacity of a nation, but more emphasis, the training emphasis going more into the small balls of developing literacy and numeracy skills. Even communication skills is getting a very low attention. And on this scale, you see it is scoring only 45%. That is below average. Yet, being a big ball, it means the key informants or the experts valued it as more of a demand for the marketplace, for the job market. We need more of these skills with bigger balls, also to improve your problem solving skills. So if you have not seen Beda face to face, this is a chance to see him. Here he was conducting field work, talking to one of the head teachers in Homa Bay County. And even from this snapshot, you can see the gender disparity. I know you can easily, you can count the girl child, but the boy child is more visible. And from the data he collected, even whether private or public school, it was evident that in class 7 and class 8, there were more boys than girls, more so in public schools. And in terms of the coverage, this survey covered western part of Kenya, these two counties, Homa Bay County and Kisumu County, and in Nairobi it covered the Nairobi City County. Now for some interesting outcomes which you may critique, especially our ladies who are here, one key message was that from class 7 to class 8, there is a reduction in the number of learners by 10. So for both boys and girls. So something must be happening, especially in rural areas. They are dropping out, not going to class 8. And that means they are cut off from higher education, from going to secondary school and far into college. So if you are talking of having graduates in science, technology, and other social sciences that can transform our economy, you see we are already losing the war as early as in primary school. And then look at another key message here, gender disparity in public schools. The ratio of boys to girls from this survey was coming to 3 to 2, but private schools were trying to attain gender parity. And then look at this interesting outcome, average annual budget, $300 per pupil for STEM learning resources. So this is the amount of money if you take the average of what public schools were giving and what private schools were giving. In terms of learning materials annual budget, you need to reserve around $300 per pupil. But for the girl child, you need an additional $200 per year per girl to cater for additional sanitary needs and extra maintenance. So if from this survey, when we took the aggregate excluding transport and accommodation or boarding facilities, we just think of learning material, extra maintenance, sanitary needs. The needs of the girl child was coming to $750 per year, and for the boy child, $410 per year. I believe that will raise very interesting discussions going forward. So what were the main recommendations from the school heads, both primary school heads and secondary school heads? They were saying that we need to make the teaching of science and mathematics in primary school more practical, and that is why we need laboratories even in primary schools and well-equipped libraries. And we need well-trained and exposed government teachers in primary schools. Science Congress should not be a reserve for secondary schools. We should start way back from primary school to socialize STEM and generate scientific curiosity among the young learners, and early talent identification, also mentorship, STEM mentorship. So these were some of the conclusions for the way forward. These are the figures I gave. And look at this, Professor Klaus Schwab is the founder of the World Economic Forum. And this year at the Davos conference, what he said is that the future will be pegged on capitalism, on talentism, not on capitalism. Because if you have the talents, there will always be capital flows to support your idea, to support your innovation. So this was a very strong point he put across, that we need to develop talents. Let's talk of a new mega trend of talentism, not just capitalism. And I agree entirely with him on that. Now, this project that you conducted, the survey, is part of implementing an idea to address youth unemployability in Africa, but this one is focusing on Kenya alone. So for this survey, which I referred to earlier in Kenya, the fieldwork has been taking place online from March 5th, and by March 26th, we had already got 400 responses. We are cleaning the data, so there is need to fill some gaps. For example, in Kilifi County, we still have a shortfall in terms of sample size because we are basing this on the census data and looking at the growth, population growth rate in Kenya, which from the census data was about 2.3% per annum. Adjusting that, we came up with a sample size and we came up with the number of males and females to be interviewed within this age bracket in every county in order to satisfy the demands of equitable sampling. It has to be equitable sampling in order to give us the right picture. From this survey, we realized that structured mentorship is lacking and there's a need for skills-based training, especially at universities. And that is making a strong case for TVET so that we don't just focus on attaining degree qualifications, but those vocational skills that we need even from the post-secondary school level, not necessarily going to university. Now, let's come to the crux of the matter, the outcome. Now, this is the youth population according to the census of 2019. 18 to 35 age bracket in Kenya, we have 14.5 million. But look at gender disparity there. Female in that bracket, 52%. Male, 48%. That is a significant difference of 4%. Yet, you realize that when it comes to STEM education, it is the reverse. And when they were asked if they had identified their talents before joining tertiary level of education or college, look at the result, you see a good percentage, all 18% had not identified their talents by the time they were joining tertiary level of education, all 18%. But the rest would only say vaguely or fairly. The percentage that would say definitely they had identified their talents, that percentage was only 26%. And so there's need for early talent identification measures. Look at the age bracket. Most of the respondents were in their 20s, and that is a good outcome because we need to focus on the youth when they are still in college before they join the marketplace. And when we ask them, where would they recommend to government to have deliberate measures to identify talents early enough? Then you see the vote is heavy on doing that at primary school level, the primary school level. No, sorry, this one is asking them, when did they identify their talents? Those who had identified their talents, when did they identify their talents? Now you see most of them are identifying their talents at the tertiary level and 15% at secondary school level. And industrial attachment, this one is good, and maybe when Slaus will be able to hear this, that attachment has also been assisting students to identify their talents because a good percentage, 18%, identified their talents during industrial attachment. So this is a very strong point that industrial attachment and internship is doing something great towards learners. This is why I was saying when they asked when they would prefer that we have talents identified, you see the vote is heavy on primary school and pre-primary. So those who are saying primary school, 43%, pre-primary school level, 33%. So we have 77% already saying talents should be identified at the basic level of pre-primary and primary. Beyond that, it will be too late. Now, when we ask them if the education system really brought out the best in them in terms of their talents, you see the majority are saying a bit, just a bit, 40%. So they need more. They need more in terms of aligning their talents to the education system, what the education system is providing. Then look at this again. How important is mentorship to building your employability skills? You see the vote is very heavy on yes, it is highly important. This 4.06 is a weighted average. The scale is 1 to 5, where 1 is not important at all, and 5 is very highly important. So if the weighted average is 4.06, you see it is on the end of the scale that is towards very highly important. So the youth here across Kenya agree that mentorship is key. But again, if about having mentors, you see those who have mentors, those who have regular dedicated individual mentor, only 55%, 45% no. If they know any structured mentorship program such as Kenya Presidential Digital Talent Program, Ajira. This is a worrying outcome because 70% of youth do not know of any structured mentorship program. And that is the reason why a whole 83% are not part of any structured mentorship program. The kind of mentors youth have, you see, mainly career mentors, 48%, and spiritual mentors, 41%. Academic mentors, less than a third of academic mentors. Those who are peer mentors, peer-to-peer mentoring, only 22%, and reverse mentors, just less than 7%. And reverse mentor is if you are older, but you get someone younger than you to mentor you so that you can know about the trends that you need to be aware of. That is what we mean by reverse mentorship. Now, going ahead, taking lessons from COVID-19, how confident are you that the course you are studying today will continue to be relevant in terms of employability? And this is a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is if artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all those megatrends in the fourth industrial revolution are going to affect your employment chances. 1 is if it is highly reducing your chances, and 5 highly increasing your chances. The average, weighted average came to 2.71, and 3 is the midpoint. So the general feeling is that with the digitalization, automation, and all that, most of the youth here feel that automation, digitalization, artificial intelligence, and machine learning are going to reduce their chances of employment. So that means you need to do something in terms of catching up and upgrading your skills, upskilling, and flowing with the digital transformation wave. That is what the strong point here, and these are coming from the youth themselves. At 2.71, it is much less than 5, where 5 is the highly increasing your employment chances. Next is, do you consider the skills gained at college relevant to the current job market demands? And 43% could only say somehow, and some are saying not at all, they were given a raw deal. And those who are saying they were given a raw deal in college or wherever they were studying before they joined the job market, or before, or when they are expecting to join the job market, those who are saying raw deal is a whole 8%, and quite relevant to the job market just with minimal modification are only, they are less than a third, 26%. In terms of the distribution, the talents we asked you, the youth, the talents they think they have, you see, most of them were saying they have logical mathematical intelligence, that is 38%, then linguistic and communicative or storytelling intelligence, 31%, interpersonal intelligence, that was the majority, 41%. This is not surprising given that the profile of young people who responded to this were in the subjects of business skills, ICT, and engineering. Now, is the education system to blame for high youth unemployment? If you look at this, those who agree and strongly agree, you can see that the people agreeing are making up a third, 33%, that education system has to blame. And those who strongly agree are all 18%. So if you add 33 and 18, more than 50% already blaming the education system for high youth unemployment in the country. And does high education determine whether you will get a job readily or not? Again, here you see most of the people are saying, no, that is not the case. So there's something, some strong message youth are passing on to the government and decision makers in terms of labor market, in terms of planning for the labor market demographics, and in terms of the education system and skills development. Now, assuming you scored a very good grade for university, would you opt to join TVET instead so that you can get practical skills for the marketplace? And here we have a scale of 1 to 4, where 1 is not at all and 4 is very readily. And it is interesting here, the youth are saying at a weighted mean of 2.46, that is already more than 2 because 2 is halfway between 1, from 1 to 4, 2 is halfway. So the opinion is heavily towards agreeing, saying yes, that they would drop their university chances and join TVET instead, because TVET is promising in terms of skills development, and people are interested in being useful, being meaningfully engaged after graduating, not the despair of just flaunting papers, academic degrees, but without a job. But then we challenge the youth, asking them, in which ways are you as youth also responsible for your unemployment? How are the youth to blame for unemployment or being unemployable? Now the youth themselves are now answering. And you know, in this online survey system, you also have a way of using word cloud to aggregate the keywords that the youth were writing. So we have 408 responses to that question. And when we use the software to aggregate those responses, look at what the youth are saying could be theirs to blame on their part. You see, laziness, the bolder means the bolder words are the ones that are of higher frequency. They have higher frequency of occurrence. So the youth are being challenged to avoid laziness. The youth are being challenged to be more aggressive, drug abuse, obsession with white-collar jobs. And you see white-collar jobs are white-collar. In fact, some were writing right-collar. That is why you see white-collar and white-collar. The right terminology is white-collar. So if we take this white-collar to be white-collar and join with this, you see obsession with white-collar jobs is also a key weak point. Some people are too choosy. That is what this survey result is communicating. And maybe that is lending credence to the fact that some people would drop their university chances in favor of joining TVET to gain vocational skills. So generally, we can summarize that laziness, lack of aggressiveness, being too choosy, negative attitudes are things, and drug abuse are things the youth must work against in order to make themselves more employable. But again, they are also blaming corruption. Corruption is also a big word here. Corruption is also denying the youth a chance of meaningful engagement. Now, how would you describe the marketability of your college training when you were or are a student and later after graduating? So this is a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is marketability highly reduced and 5 marketability highly increased. But there's some level of from 1 to 5, the midway is 3. So you can see a good number saying there needs to be something needs to be done, especially with higher education curricula, because 2.98 is slightly less than 3, which is midway. So they are saying midway is when we are talking about marketability, is not affected, it is constant. So if it is 2.98, it is going towards reduced marketability. So there needs to be something to be done in order to improve the university curricula and make the graduates more relevant to the marketplace and hence more employable. And how do you agree that the labor market demands your area of training for quite some time into the future? And the average, weighted average is 3.89 out of 5. So here The graduates are saying what they are doing, not the graduates, but let's say the youth, that age bracket 18 to 35, they are saying that what they are engaged in, what they are learning is 3.89 over 5. That is towards strongly agreeing that the labor market requires what they are engaged in, their areas of training and skills development. So the summative message is that, of course, what they are learning is good for the economy, but something needs to be done in order to make them more competitive and more relevant to the needs of the marketplace. How do your current work requirements differ from the knowledge and skills you or your employees gained from the course they studied? Now, this one was mainly for those who are working. And you see, they are saying generally they need to be retrained a bit. When they enter the marketplace, there's a need for further training, which means the education system has not been sufficiently skills based. There is still a gap between what we are producing from colleges and what the industry demands. How satisfied are you with the pay or the returns on your business or employment? And this one was also targeting people who are working. And on a scale of 1 to 5, where the midway is 3, if the average weighted average is 2.59, you see it is less than the midpoint. So most of the people are dissatisfied. That is what this average weighted analysis is showing. So that is the end of the summary of the outcome. And what we are showing here is now conclusion and way forward. So immediately what we can notice from here is that what is urgent and important is skills-based education and training, the imperative or necessity of increasing digital fluency. So when we are talking of education 4.0, we have to improve our delivery. We have to ensure that we bridge the digital divide. We develop technology infrastructure in universities so that our graduates can acquire the digital literacy and better digital fluency they need for the emerging marketplace. Important and long-term is about continuous or adaptive curriculum improvement. You can add more points to this based on this presentation. So based on what you will say here, more points can be added to this. But that is now the end of the presentation we wanted to make and share with you. So the floor is now open for your feedback, for your questions, and those who are already working, your comments will be very useful to the students who are here as they prepare to join the labor market. Thank you. So it is your chance now to talk, to give any feedback. Any questions, any feedback? Let me also check the chat section. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hello?
Yeah, can you get me from this side?
Hello, we can hear you.
Okay.
You can proceed.
I
You are
was saying
muted.
that I can see the floor. I was saying that I can see the floor is very quiet, so I just wanted to just contribute a little bit of my experience. I just wanted to contribute a little bit of my past experience.
Yes, you can
when
proceed.
it comes to career advancement and whatever employment opportunities. Generally, if you look at the survey, it shows more of what is really happening on the ground. Because generally, speaking on my behalf, I'm a graduate with a degree in arts, bachelor in arts economics. But currently, whatever I'm doing is so far from what I studied. So at some point, you have just to develop some skills necessary for surviving the job market. That is like whatever I'm doing today currently is transcription, which if you look at it keenly, it has nothing entailing economics, because I'm doing what is known as the legal transcription. So you just some point you just have to go through every necessary training, because during that point I had to attend some training. And for those who are on this platform, please, if you get an opportunity to register with the Ajira Digital, they always have those online trainings sessions. Like the other one that I did was for transcriptioning, and indeed it helped me secure this job. So I'll also advise those who are also seeking for jobs, whenever you get those trainings, take them serious. And that's why there's always a need for mentorship programs. So I'm really grateful for this chance, and I'm always willing to learn, and I'll always be learning whenever there is that chance. And that's also my advice to the other people.
Oh, great, great. At Gira Digital, I've posted it to the chat section for those who would like to take note and follow up. When Slaves, you can't say you have nothing to tell us, especially now that you are already in industry. We encourage these young people.
I actually commented something in the chat, but
you can say it out now.
I can still echo it out. The survey is really good, and it's showing where we are and where we need to go. So basically, I feel like as the youth, we need to engage more in platforms which will encourage us to have better skills for the market, and not just, as you're saying, it's more of a career kind of journey than a job seeking journey. So invest in skills like Salesforce, Moodle, and so on. So as you're in school, or as we are still in school, because most of us, it's an endless journey of learning. So some of those skills are coming in handy in our day-to-day improvements in our workplaces, and even if there are promotions or new job seeking activities, then those become very critical. And as you can see, one of the major reasons is just laziness, because most of us don't want to really put in so much work. We'd rather choose the easy way out. So also just encouraging ourselves to do more. So this just comes as a wake-up call. So let's see where we can actually go next. But this is a good step to begin the whole journey.
Thank you for that input, and that reminds me of there was a question number 44 in the questionnaire that was asking the youth to check what they are familiar with in terms of keywords and the readily available applications on the market that they have been using. And its result was interesting, because what we realized is that what the youth know more about is Facebook, 71%, followed by Instagram, 62%, Twitter, 57%. Those who are using Google Drive, 55%. But on a good note, LinkedIn, which is professional, 49% know about it and are using it. A surprise is that when it comes to Microsoft Office, Excel, 63% know about it and are using it quite regularly. But PowerPoint is receiving a raw deal, only 50%. No wonder when you are challenged to make presentations, you find some very disheartening presentations. So the youth who are here, please upgrade your game in terms of learning presentation skills and using PowerPoint effectively. Another key area is that when it comes to key terminologies such as green economy, blue economy, and circular economy, only 3% have heard of circular economy, and that was disappointing. 12% green economy and 16% blue economy. I would say blue economy is scoring higher maybe because of the conference we had in Kenya, Blue Economy Conference, some time back. Another disappointing area is that when it comes to sustainable development goals, only 18% of the youth know about SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. And these are some of the weak areas. You have to be a global citizen. You have to know what is going on in your country and in the world. So you must know about Kenya Vision 2030, the pillars of that vision, and the medium-term plans for achieving it. You must know about Africa Agenda 2063 and SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, because these are some of the questions you come across during interviews, and they will make a difference whether the panel will be judging you as someone who can learn and who is enthusiastic, or someone just lazy and will just do what they are given to do and leave it there without being innovative enough to go beyond what beyond the call of duty. You need to go beyond the call of duty, and such degree of awareness is indicative of what you can do. So those are key terminologies in question 42 and key applications that you should be learning to use, like the open source Python, R. They were 63 in number, and they are weighted, giving more weight to the applications that are vertical. Vertical in the sense that they are for highly specific application. So the average performance there was only, let me read it out to you. The average performance was only 16%. The average score was only 16%. The highest score was 82%. So the person who scored the highest in that area, which was a proxy of digital literacy, scored 82%, but the mean was just 16% with a standard deviation of 15%. So again, in terms of digital literacy, the youth need to do more. Just beyond being happy on Facebook and Instagram, you need to do something that will make you more employable and help you develop transferable skills. That is the strong message coming out of this survey as well. Any other comment, input, question? Because there could also be questions on what the survey didn't cover well.
Yes.
Yes, you can proceed.
Yes. And now the single message we have got from the report we have just presented, especially the biggest problem of being choosy as youths, is just what by being choosy, it means not going beyond, not just office work, but going beyond what you have learned as a whole, what education entails, and you do better. For example, most of us are trained in a scientific way. Maybe you are an engineer. It is not a must you do the engineering works. You should be able. We are told the world, you can't survive in this world, however big the company is, without a team of marketers. So as much as you are technical, then you must be a good marketer and a good communicator at the same time. So from being choosy, as youth, let's learn to go out of the field that we are in. If I'm a statistician, I should go beyond the data analysis and be able to communicate that data such that we are able to earn a project from that data, or we are able as a team to earn finances from that data. So it is beyond our technical learning. We now go beyond and get more of the communication skills, as the nation has always stated that communication is key. I think that is what we need as youths. With communication, we can go far.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you for that addition. let's get any other comments or questions. I'm also expecting questions. I saw we were joined by students from the University of Nairobi. That is my alma mater. And I would expect the University of Nairobi to be more vocal. So let me read from the message section. Samuel there is saying, sounds so useful, insightful session. We request you share this presentation via our emails if that is possible. Okay, then John Waru saying mentorship programs play a vital role in our lives. I can confirm that is through the Ajira classes I undertook. I've been doing academic writing and I've majored in engineering topics due to the passion I have in this field. So Ajira is getting a very big thumbs up there. Thank you for shedding light on the facts about youth unemployment. Whatever should be done should start from the roots, entrepreneurship and ideation, and most important, pitching. So that is a comment from Rogers Koech. I think we have had a good session. And if there's no other question or contribution, we can call it a day. So Rogers is saying, expecting more members. We have another session tomorrow as well. Someone has carried his hand. You can go ahead and speak. We'll have another session like this tomorrow for those who will not join today. But if you want to join tomorrow again, you are also welcome to join tomorrow again. So we'll have another session like this tomorrow. So tell your colleagues who are not able to join us today that they have another chance tomorrow. And if you'd also like to join tomorrow, maybe you have questions that have arisen from this session and you'd like to bring them on board tomorrow, you can also join us tomorrow. So I'll share the link again so for tomorrow so that the rest can join and you are welcome to join again. So Samuel, it is like you wanted to say something. I saw your hand raised.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I just joined late, but hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, what I'm saying, I joined, I got a very nice lesson and I think I have learned a lot in terms of the current market and dynamics.
Mm-hmm. Great.
I hope to also join you tomorrow so that I can on time. But it was a very insightful session. And I wish more youths could join and try to figure out and hear and also listen the kind of challenges they undergo in terms of what they study in school and what they are going to get out there in the job market, and how maybe sometimes we just don't go a step further to try to go an extra mile towards what we are really studying in our colleges.
Great. Thank you, Samuel, for that input. And now we are going to close in the next 3 minutes. So if you have anything to add, you just have the next 3 minutes, then we are going to close.
Could you also could we get those presentations? Is it possible to share?
The recorded version, yes.
Okay. If you can, kindly.
Okay.
I shall be grateful. Thank
Welcome. So 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes more for whoever wants to ask a question or to contribute. Then we are going to close after that.
Hello, Dr. Nation.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I see Sinu has left already. I was looking forward to maybe talking to him about.
Okay, then I'll share his contacts.
Thank you.
So bye-bye. Kevin, you are joining us. I think the network there is.
Bye, Dr.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
So bye-bye. See you tomorrow for those who are joining tomorrow, and you can let the other people know that you can join tomorrow as well. Otherwise, bye for now and have a great evening of rest.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome.